Divine source of light and love, as we kindle this black flame from above, we seek your guidance, wisdom, and protection to shield us from negativity and deception. With this candle, we banish what's unclean, remove energies that disrupt our serene. Grant us strength, creativity, and insight as we walk in your wisdom, pure and bright. May this candle's power be our guide. In your loving presence we confide. Protect, inspire, and make us strong as we align with your path all life long. So mote it be, this candle's decree. As we will, so shall it be. Blessed be. May this prayer bring protection, wisdom, creativity, and the removal of unwanted energies to all who watch and participate. Over. Welcome, beautiful souls. Hello. Thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in with I, Enchantress, the Babbler, on our revolutionary rise of a high that is happening at this time. So we're going to kind of continue, but not, from the last video. So make sure to watch all my videos because every single video is a continuation of its last. Right, and we were talking about like the upcoming solar eclipse in Libra, which is calling us to embrace transformation and rebirth, right? While we work through certain shadows, right? So as we work through certain kind of shadows, right? So I just want to see what's gonna come up. I'm gonna free flow it from there, whatever comes up, right? This is a newer deck that I find to be absolutely beautiful. So I don't know all the meanings of these cards, but we will see what happens when we start shuffling. I haven't even seen all the cards except when my bonding time with them and stuff like that. But yeah, anything can happen here, right? So the funeral procession. That's funny because too, right? It's like what I said in the last video about this phoenix rising, right? This phoenix rise, like, you know, this transformation and this rebirth, right? Right. So, and especially with the influence of the eclipse being heavily influenced by Venus too, right? It's interesting, right? Right, because the eclipse can reveal, right, neglected aspects of our lives and offer these opportunity times to grow, right? Some of you could be dealing with death, grief, sorrow too, right? I'm sorry, Shiva Diva, right? It's about mourning, right? So that's what wants to come up here. It's very interesting, right? Mourning, processing loss, and understanding the transitory nature of life. So I feel like you might be going through something like that, something, right? This funeral procession, like some kind of loss or soon to be loss, or you know, dealing with death and rebirth too, and like, you know, mourning, and it might be difficult too, right? It might be difficult because of maybe clashing. Because look at, when I look at this picture, like if you see this here, right? Like I just feel like there's so much clashing within the funeral, right? Within the mourning, there's so much clashing, right? Like with a lost soul, right? So, right? So there might be certain kind of clashing with a lost soul, right? The lost soul is about someone like feeling directionless, right? Searching for a purpose or needing spiritual guidance, right? So you might be dealing with energies that, and this could be you too. Like, you know, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily projection, that it has to go on out. This could be you. You could be dealing with mourning, right? And feeling directionless in regards to that. Or there might be a clashing during the mourning process that can, it can like feel like wow, like, you know what I mean? It could be, I don't want to personalize this, but you know, sometimes we have to like personalize it in a way that we can convey it for understanding, right? This could be too like not seeing eye to eye in regards to something that you could be mourning at this time with another soul, right? So you feel lost, you feel out of, like, it could feel hopeless, a certain kind of situation that can feel kind of hopeless because of the clashing, right? That's taking place. Like, wow, the Gothic cathedral, right? So the Gothic cathedral, it's about structures, traditions, and possible dogmatic approaches to spirituality, right? The skeleton key, right? The skeleton key is, I just saw it, solutions to problems. So having the solution to certain kind of problems here, right? So solutions to problems, access to hidden areas, and unlocking certain kind of secrets, right? The Southern Bell. That could be you too, right? The Southern Bell. Here we are. The Southern Bell. Hidden truths, societal facades, or the challenges of upholding appearances. Okay, so yeah, definitely this message, like, wow, right? So there could be a certain kind of energy that you're dealing with that it's clashing in regards to something. So it's like everyone's mourning, everyone's at like a certain type of loss in terms of what's happening here. But you have the key, right? You have the key to unlock all this mystery and stuff like that. And so there's major rebirth, right? And alignment, right? Because Venus is aligning with Lilith right now, right? During this eclipse, which is encouraging us to assert our desires, to assert our relationships with caution, right? Because you don't want to be this helpless like person, right? Keeping up a facade, upholding appearances. You could be dealing with people that are trying to uphold a fucking appearance that they're clashing with you in some kind of way, right? Because they refuse to see certain kind of things that like certain, it's like the lost soul, right? So it's like the lost soul. You look at that. Maybe that face looks familiar to you. You know what I mean? All these cards are deep. Right? So I feel like, right? So look here. So certain kind of the voodoo priestess. Sorry, I just dropped that. Right? You got voodoo. I'm sorry, since I'm looking at it, this is how I have it. Like, you know, the print of the meanings of these cards. So I'm just like looking at it. I don't want you to like think I'm just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So like I know this is the hoodoo princess, but I keep seeing the voodoo priestess, right? So like that's about hidden knowledge, intuitive powers, and spiritual interactions. Like this is the devil's playground, right? The devil's playground where you have to assert your spiritual authority. You have to assert your spiritual discernment. You have to like now stand up for yourself in some kind of way, right? Harnessing all the natural magic, right? Spiritual leadership, right? So you have this energy to you and guiding others, especially lost souls. And sometimes it can clash, right? Because somebody, right? Like a person could be triggered by truth, and then they can try to attack you like it. That's like narcissism, ego, like that type of shit, right? That you could be dealing with, like somebody attacking you because they're lost and they only see that which they see. And here you are, the skeleton key, right? And so the clashing is happening, right? And hidden truths are coming to the surface about a certain kind of lost soul that you could be dealing with too, right? And it's kind of like damning, right? So the Black Crow's message, right? Let's see. The Black Crow's message. It's a message from the universe, the intersection of life and death. So here we're dealing very closely with the death cycle. And so it's uncovering hidden issues that might be crescendoing right now at this time because it needed to, right? This is an impasse. This needed to come out in the way that it came out because certain kind of structures, certain kind of traditions, and certain kind of approaches need to evolve, right? And so things are coming into, right? This also, right? So it's like, it's the same thing, like bringing the balance. Like that's what the North Node in Aries is all about. It's inspiring this passion that's innovative in some kind of way, right? While Libra South Node is emphasizing balance, right? It's bringing the shadow into balance with certain kind of things, and not everything is going to be black and white. Not everything. So there's a clashing, right? That's happening, and it's just like the Bayou lost Confederate ghosts, right? So here we are, right? The Bayou. Mysteries, depths of emotion, right? So it's like a breaking. It's like a breaking. It's like a breaking to get into. So some like people could be superficial, right? Keeping up with the Joneses, and or like more caring about their appearance, of how they appear, but it's a breaking of like of the mysteries of how deep our emotions can go, hidden truths beneath the surface of that, right? And so it can create friction. It's creating friction of some kind, right? And so here we are, right, at this impasse that, where's this one? Right? Look at, so somebody could be regretting something, or somebody will be in the position of regret, unresolved battles, or the consequences of past actions, right? So sometimes you're that liberator. You're that liberator to people's opportunity for evolution, right? Because when you're such a great impact, and sometimes you're the catalyst for so much change for a person to grow past their stuck. Sometimes it's going to take losing you for a person to finally grow past what they refuse to see. And so like this can come up, and it can appear like a tragedy, right? It can appear like, wow, like I lost a good one, like, or something like that. And it can be clashing, right? In a way that someone has regret, and maybe how they handled you, or how they went about in doing something, or maybe they're not there yet, right? It's a procession. It's happening in a way that the Cajun fiddler, what is it? In a way that is bringing a certain level of growth. Like I feel like it's like a certain level of growth that needs to occur, and so there's like a crossroad in some kind of way, right? In regards to decisions that people choose to make, and the potential and the consequences of those kind of choices and stuff like that. Like some people may have gotten away with, up until this part, being that level of ignorant, or that level of, you know me? Hold on. I don't know where I was, but I'm liking the Cajun fiddler, right? Because it's about joy, and it's about this expression of it and the power of music. So music might be very important to you, right? And that might be healing, therapeutic for you at this time, right? As you continue to stand up for yourself, right? Like one of the greatest lessons I too am learning at this time is to have compassion towards myself. The same compassion that I bestow onto others, right? Because I can understand where they're coming from and stuff like that. And then sometimes in that kind of behavior, you enable certain kind of toxicities in other people just because you're the understanding one, just because you can see past where they can't see, right? Just because you can go a little bit further and see the whole and stuff like that, that they might look at you angrily or ignorantly, or like you think you're a know-it-all, or you think you're righteous and all this kind of stuff, because sometimes people are so stuck in their ways and their perception, their perspective, that they can't see past their own, foot in their face. I know that that's not an expression, but still, but we have also Mars influencing the South Node at this time, which can bring repressed anger to the surface. So you could be dealing with people that have repressed anger and have issues that are emotional, or that go beyond the issue you might be experiencing with them. And so because they don't see past their own issue at this time, because they're not there yet, they're coming at you sideways in a certain kind of way. But here you are, you bring the joy, you bring that, you're raising that awareness, right? Into certain kind of things. So these karmic connections, because the haunted mansion is connected to karmic connections, right? Unresolved and hidden secrets about that, right? Because you got the dusty corner store. That's what it says, the dusty corner store, right? That's interesting. It's about overlooking certain kind of solutions, right? Overlooking certain kind of solutions, or having certain kind of nostalgia. So like overlooking the solution because someone could be so stuck on their perspective, or their anger, or their hidden animosity. You know what I mean? And so if there's hidden animosity, there's hidden issues, right? And there's certain types of energies that just can't see past their own perspective. Sometimes you have to step away from that. Sometimes you have to give yourself the same compassion and understanding that you typically give to other people, and like, it's okay, I understand. And meanwhile, it's like you get dicked up the ass because it's just like, okay, well, what about my feelings? What about my mourning? What about my loss? And it's not about being selfish. It's just like, damn, I'm there for you in the capacity and that you need. Where's my reciprocity? And so some people, you meet them in that playing field, like, where were you in my time of need? You were attacking me, or you were fighting me, or you were an aggressor towards me, right? Because certain people like can't see past their own selfishness, the shadow, because they got to work through their shadows too, right? Facing a darker side that's hidden with fears and suppressed emotion. But here, you look at dealing with the shadow, and you're the specter of the plantation, right? Like, because I'm just seeing greenery here, right? So it's just like, okay, this is good, right? So it can be good, but here, right? You have this, right? The shadow that you're dealing with, right? And then here, it's facing one's darker side, hidden fears and suppressed emotions. And then the specter of plantation is dealing with traumas, historical traumas, unresolved issues, and ancestral memories. And so this could be all coming to the surface right now. So it's anger coming to the surface. It's delusion coming to the surface, right? But it's here for this for introspection. It's here for to eclipse. It's here to transform, and that's going to be tough, right? Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way in a way that brings about solutions and answers and healing. The voodoo queen, right? So you have the voodoo queen, right? And that could be you here, right? The voodoo queen, or the energy that you're going to start embodying, or the energy that you could be working with and stuff like that, right? So the voodoo queen. Hidden knowledge, intuitive powers, and spiritual interaction, right? You could be dealing with a lot of this kind of stuff, right? The Mississippi River side. the Mississippi River side. The flow of life, constant change, and the vastness of experience, right? Just one more. The sun bleached tombstone. That's it. Right, so this is about forgotten legacies, the impact of time, and the eventual outcome of all life. So if there's something that you're dealing with, like a something that went sour with, let's say, another person, right? In regards to something that you don't see eye to eye on, give it time, right? Give it time for the healing that needs to take place, for the evolution and whatever. It's not about that. Look, because you're at a crossroads, right? Decisions that need to be made, right? And so and choices too, right? The mysterious stranger. So unexpected influences are expected, new encounters and hidden agendas with certain kind of things, right? The abandoned asylum, facing inner demons, mental health challenges, and societal neglect, right? So you could be feeling like that too, right? You could be really truly like a lone wolf here, right? So people could side with other people and they could really be in the wrong. And so it can make you feel like you're doing something wrong because you're the odd man out. And so people that have to band together, right, to be like, no, you, like, it's like the Salem witch trial and stuff like that. Like you're being crucified because somebody got a louder audience or somebody got a bigger mouth or somebody has more friends than you and stuff like that. And people that won't tell them that they're wrong, people that enable in certain kind of ways, or people that see on the same level of evolution that they're on. That's why they're friends. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Right? Army general, you are commander of an army, right? So you're here commanding a certain type of spiritual army, and you have a spiritual inheritance fortune awaiting you and stuff like that. And people might not feel that great about that, right? So you hitch a ride from a hot air balloon and land back safely, right? So certain things could be taken away from you at this time, like certain people, certain individuals, because they could be hot-headed, right? They could be not on the same, they could be a loud rooster, right? And or you could be the loud rooster for them in their life, right? You could be the one that wakes them back up to life to be like, oh shit, what the fuck is happening here? Because they might be lifeless. They might be lifeless, and you might be the one to wake them up, right? Because you're the magic potion, right? The magic potion that they need, the elixir that they need to evolve past the stuck seed that they might be, right? And so it'd be like that, right? The end. The story has suddenly come to an end. So something might be coming to an end in regards to some type of disruption, some type of problem, issue, or something that you might have been experiencing with another person, or, you know, that's how I'm getting it, like another person, big bad wolf, right? The big bad wolf that looks like a grandma. So this could be somebody that might look like a loving person, but might really be a big bad wolf, because this is spiritual warfare. Because how else can you be attacked? It has to come from a close party. It has to come from somebody that looks like someone familiar, right? That's how demons exist, right? in terms of like, if you're just talking energy, right? Like the only way a person can tap into that monster is if they got the monster in them, right? That they haven't balanced, because everybody got the monster in them. But until you balance that and come into terms with your life force, your purpose, your healthiness, you got to be healthy. Some people be fucking around and they're not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Right? Some people might be toxic as fuck. And you needed to see that at this time. Because this is your excellent opportunity for inner healing. Right? So any kind of major karmic moment, right? Like this is providing an excellent opportunity for you to continue on your evolutionary journey, right? You are embarrassed by placing last in a cooking contest. And that too, like, so you too, like you might be feeling neglected in a certain kind of way. Like, why do I have to always take last place? Why can't people see past their stupid, past their stuck? Why do you always got to be the lone man out, lone wolf over here, or the outcast? Right? And that could be a healing part. This is part of that healing. Like I was getting like this major like revelation, like seriously, like in my meditation about feeling outcasted because everybody bands together right away, like minds, like minds. You know what I mean? Birds of a feather flock together. And here you are, like being isolated, iced out, right? And it's just like, it's not that it feels lonely, it just feels personal. And it is sometimes. Like people say, I always say too, it's not personal, it's spiritual. But yo, mofos be going after you, it'd be personal. You have to take it that way so that you can distance yourself in a way that brings that boundary of respect that you need and that you should have. People should reciprocate. If you're there for people in a way that uplifts them, especially during their time of need, and then it comes around and it's your time of need, and they fucking don't, and they need to be right about something, or they come at you sideways, like meanwhile you could be mourning down, like, so let me kick this person while they're fucking down a little bit more because I can't control my tongue, because I have to set my opinion straight. I gotta look good in this situation. Yo, you don't need that in your life. How many times, you like, seriously, like, like whatever, like it's just selfishness. It was an accident. The wolf promises to fix everything. Meanwhile, they have no accountability. Oh, I wasn't trying to, I was just, you know what else is coming up? Like, oh, when someone says they mean well, that's not what I meant. You could be calling somebody out on what they're doing, and because they don't like the way it sounds, that's not what I'm doing. That's not my intention, but that's your action. So what the fuck else you want to call it? That's your action. Oh, it was an accident. I was just angry. I was just upset. Nah, that's the way you are. That's you coming out. But when somebody says and labels it what it is, they want to be like, nah, that's not what that is. No, I mean well. Oh, my cat. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I get riled up. Right? Like, oh, I'm sorry. That's not how I meant it. Then tell me, how is it that you meant it? Because you keep going at it. Oh, no. I mean well, but I need you to listen to me. That's narcissistic. I need you to see it the way that I'm seeing it right now. I need you not to interpret the story how you're interpreting the story. I need you to interpret it the way that I'm interpreting it. I don't know how else to say it to you without it sounding like an attack. It's because you're attacking me. Oh, no, that's not what I'm doing. You can't, like people that lack accountability are toxic as fuck. People that lack accountability be toxic as fuck. And if you and then they'll try to gaslight you or try to make you feel like because you're calling it out that you're just being as narcissistic and toxic as them. Nah, dude, I'm really not. Oh, I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you because you're emotional. Nah, you can't talk to me because you don't like the whiplash of your effect upon somebody that's coming at you with a healthy mind, sober mind, healthy mind, and that's it. So, you just have to do what you have to do, right? Lost. They could be lost. Look at that. Lost shit is coming up in another fucking card. Right? They could be lost. Big bad wolf, here we go again. Wants to blow down your house with whatever and say that that's not what they're doing, but yet that's what they're doing. Nah, man, you can't have that. You can't have that. You can't have that. It's a bad odor. It's a bad odor. It stinks because they smell so bad. Look, a giant is chasing after you. And they refuse to say that that's what they're doing. It's like that shade when people like now you call it out, like calling it out. Like, listen, you don't really fuck with me like that. Why are you acting like you do? Oh, what do you mean? Nah, I meant what I said. I said what I said, and that's it. Like, what are you talking about? So people can't deal with certain kind of reels, and then they want to call you aggressive just because you passionately speak about something. Oh, I can't talk to you. You can't talk to me because you don't like the sound that you make and the whiplash of that kind of effect and how somebody else is dispelling it back to you so that you can see the error of your fucking ways. Now you want to come around and come tell me something different. Meanwhile, your story keeps changing. How inconsistent can you fucking be? My shit has stayed from, that's like, like when you watch those DUI arrests and stuff like that, and or like when somebody's lying or being interrogated, and how their story just keeps switching up and changing, switching up and changing, switching. Oh no, and then you're just seeing it like, yo, because the truth will set you free. The truth is the truth. But when you're inconsistent, you sloppy, you toxic, and all this kind of stuff, the shit just keeps changing. And then they want to come and they want to say something to you like, nah, you the one. Nah, my shit's been consistent. And then you got to also deal with people that dabble in a lot of kind of stuff, whether it's drinking, drugs, whatever the case may be, and poor memory skills. A lot of the times people be like, I don't remember that way. Well, here you go. Here's the fucking receipt. Do you remember now? Oh, like still lacking in accountability. So you're having this emotional release, this phoenix rise at this time, and good for you. Good for you. Okay? So some people wear masks. Some people wear masks. And you got to think about that too, right? And have certain kind of obsessions. It's time for you to dance, right? So either way, let me shuffle you. Right? Either way, this Libra solar eclipse has the true potential, right? To really unveil hidden issues in us all. And so, and any kind of weakness or any kind of soft spot that you might have had, or the enabling that you have allowed, we're all each on our journey, and we're all having to take our stance, and we're all going to have to find that position of empowerment, power within ourselves to stand up for ourselves. So for me, it was always like allowing people to gaslight me, or enabling toxicities or shady kind of behavior because I sense it, feel it, pick up on it, and because I understand it, I don't fault people for it, but fault people for it. Because that not faulting people for it causes them to think and enable them to think that they could continue acting and behaving that way. And sometimes not. They need to be called the fuck out. You're toxic as fuck. Go check yourself and all this kind of shit. Keep being the genius that you are. Keep being the evolutionary person that you are. Keep growing. Keep tending and keep healing those wounds and stand up for yourself. You don't have to be aggressive to stand up for yourself, but you could draw that boundary in the line. right? You could take flight that way. Take flight that way, right? You can take flight that way. Freedom can come with acknowledging who you are and how you want to be, right? Maybe you really are who everyone thinks you are. Find like-minded individuals who offer comfort and community. Slip free of restrictive earthly bonds and let your spirit soar. So any kind of bond that you have that's restrictive, right? Go for release that, right? Go for it. Indulge yourself in a community of reciprocity, even if it's only one fucking person. It's quality over quantity any day, right? You could be experienced, right? Certain people could lack certain type of experience too, and they're trying to put you on the same pedestal of a level of evolution as they are, like just because they are this is like, excuse me, I've been dealing with this shit since I was a child. I've been working on this shit since I was a child. You just started. And it's not to toot one's own horn and all this kind of stuff, because you could have an evolutionary life experience and be a jackass. But how dare somebody come with their like, it's like being a guppy. Oh, but you know, that's your level of evolution. Dude, I've been on this shit for a long fucking time. That's like newbies coming into the place trying to tell you how to read fucking tarot cards. Meanwhile, you've been doing it for fucking 40 years or something like that. You can't say like, oh, no, it's like this. Man, shut up. Shut up. It's not that for you. Right? So here we are, having this experience. An all or nothing culture that feeds on the extremes, in which everything is the absolute best or the abject worst. It might be tempting to go many steps, and somebody could be trying to victimize now their position towards you because of something that they started. It's like you're dealing with something, you're going through something, and somebody comes into your home to give you their opinion about the something that you're going through. Like, yo, you came after me. Nobody asked you for shit. That type of shit, right? So it might be tempting to go many steps beyond to go rip up somebody's fucking head off. But no, you don't need to, right? Right? Is it really worth it? That's the question to ask. Is it really worth it? There could be things that you don't say because you just know better. That's from experience. Right? Like the audacity somebody might have to come and tell you something. Meanwhile, you could have said a lot of some things about how they handle something and how horrible of a person they act towards fucking other people. You can say a whole bunch of shit, but you did not, because it's not your evolutionary experience. And because you know better. When you know better, you do better. You move better. You operate better. You're not here to judge nobody. But now they want to come and judge you. No. Children of the night. Right? Listen to them, your kindred spirits, those with similar habits and haunts who share your taste and enthusiasm. Many creatures, human, bats, wolves, have evolved as social animals who benefit from close bonds that go beyond even the blood ties of immediate relatives. Roam with your pack. It's good for the soul, right? So roaming with those that you vibe with in a genuine manner. I realized that too. In the departure of friendships in my own life experience, like when my ex-best friend and I stopped being friends, the people that I was friends with surrounding that friendship, those friendships ended too, because those were from her. Those were her friends. So it's the same thing. Like, you know, like when you think about it, it's like the birds of a feather flock together, because if they were really for you, they would be for you. So you could have that too. You could have people that you're cool with because you're you're friends with one other person, like, right, that's their clique, and those are those kind of people. But when you think about it from the lost perspective, like, and you think about the type of people, the birds of a feather that flock together, and the type of energies that be, are you really losing anything? Because those people are exactly like that person that you're leaving behind, wearing a mask, not having any accountability, fucking deception, shady, keeping up with the appearances instead of being really real or holding yourself accountable for shit. When I wasn't no longer best friends with my ex-best friend, I was hurt by that. And even though that person wasn't the reason why we stopped being friends, right? It was their pig ass husband, right? Pig, pedophile, that type of person, lusting after children, that type of person. Everybody else that took their side at that time, it felt like, wow, like, where was our friendship? Where was our friendship? And so I mourned the loss of those friends until I had a wake-up call. I had a wake-up call, like, what kind of friends am I mourning? Really? Because if it was the other way around, I would have stood 10 toes deep down. Nah, you're wrong. That's ugly. That's nasty. That man should fucking pay. But birds of a feather flock together. So it could be something like that, right? You stop being friends or close to somebody, and then there's a trickle of other people that go around because they're choosing sides. They have their loyalties. Fuck those people. They ain't your people. And so here you are. You're now evolving past that and creating connections that are meaningful and aligned with your energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's it. That's what I got for you.